Hey everybody, Sarah at Nova Motorcycles again. This week we're talking a vintage Enduro, specifically 1973 Yamaha RT360. If you were alive in this era, you will know this bike and this whole family of bikes. Yamaha sort of invented the Enduro, the on-off-road bike. Basically a dirt bike that they could slap lights on. You could ride it around, ride it to work, ride it to school, and ride around the trails at the end of the day or on the weekend. If you don't know the history of motocross and enduro riding in the United States, the late 60s and then the early 70s, there was this explosion of small bore, mainly Japanese machines coming in that were dirt specific or heavily dirt oriented like this. Before that, the way of making a dirt bike was to take an old English bike, put some maybe knobby-ish tires on it, and just go ride it, strip stuff off it and ride it in the woods. But they were not very good. They were heavy. They didn't do their jobs very well. And as time went on, they got more and more specifically dirt-oriented. So you'll see this doesn't look like a modern dirt bike. It has short shocks. It has short front forks. It's made mostly of steel. It's not aluminum and plastic like the modern ones are. Steel fender, relatively small diameter wheels. So it's basically it's definitely early in the it's 10 years at least before long travel suspension was introduced. But still, of its time, this was like the bike to have. This one is a couple iterations down the road. I'm going to get the details wrong, but I want to say the Yamaha AT1 might have been the first one, and then a DT1, late 60s, 68 I think might have been the AT1. That's when they came and they revolutionized things. This era of bike, this family of bikes from Yamaha is akin to dirt bikes to what the Honda CB750 was to street bikes. They just changed everything, and everybody tried to keep up with them at the time. So just the basic specs of it: it's a 360cc single cylinder, 2-stroke with reed valve and oil injection. That means that in 1973 it was the most modern thing you could find as far as a 2-stroke went. Really cool, really fast, really fun, and yeah. So this one came to us with a really funny problem. The bike wouldn't keep running. It would run and then turn off. We discovered that the oil pump wasn't pumping oil. As you know, 2-strokes need to have oil either mixed with the fuel or directly injected into the bottom end of the motor because they burn the fuel much different than a 4-stroke does. We realized that the oil pump was just not pumping any oil at all. So what was happening when it would stop running was that it would seize. So we've gone through and we've given it, thankfully the bore was savable. It's got a brand new piston in, old stock stuff from the networks that are out there. And oil pump rebuilt. We had it running great until we realized it also had an ignition problem. So we got a new point condenser for it. Get that in there, and this thing will be back on the trails pretty soon. So let us know what your favorite Enduro was. If you were around during this era and you had dirt bikes in that time, tell us some stories. We love that stuff. And as usual, like and subscribe.